All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to round number 5, our last round in our new players tournament. Once again, we have Atlas, Tenny, Funnyman, and Tumahai in this particular game. And, of course, King Morgan joining us for the commentary.
Hello.
And so, water, food, and power are expensive things this game, and then a lot of cheap material.
That's generous map.
Offices also, I do want to point out, at the colony. So power could be a bit finicky this time.
Yeah, that should be. There's only 2 geothermals as well, which... There we go. I had my eye on that scientific spot that Funny Man took. That's a nice spot.
It's a good scientific spot. I am a little concerned about the power price, in particular for the scientist.
Yes. But then he could get a couple of nice wind turbines adjacent. Well, if he went on his steel side, I suppose.
Yeah, wind turbines might be necessary here. There is a scavenger player gathering in some carbon, but not a lot right now. And Tenny's actually just going straight for power. That is bold.
He's doing the robot play.
Yep.
Well, he may get away with it.
Power robot, a little bit awkwardly positioned in terms of gaining adjacency on something like the silicon, which is usually what we see in this situation, but...
I'd have preferred to see that, to be honest with you, but...
Yeah.
You could have moved your base up a tiny bit and had the 2 solar panels adjacent to that silicon, but...
Well, I imagine he squished a lot of silicon right at the start, and it is important to note that he did push to 2 before night came, and that's always kind of the judge of how quick a start you got as a power robot. If you can't push to 2, you probably made a mistake. But if you can, you're probably going to be okay.
Yeah, but it is a fair distance to bring any iron in if he wants to go into iron later on.
Yeah, I don't think iron is going to be a possibility for him. He is going to have to rely on the other 2 players to make the steel that he needs.
With a scientist and... the scientist isn't going to overproduce steel, is he, really? Not generally, anyway.
Well, but
He
steel's
may.
doing okay. I mean, 60 is fine for Tenny, I would say right now, right? $60 steel? That's not out of control.
As long as the power price holds.
Yeah,
it'll
that's
be-
the trick. But with 5 offices, 6 offices now, it actually added 1. That's not really a bad spot to be in, I would say.
Yeah, especially there's only 2 geothermals, so hopefully that was Tinny. No, it wasn't Tinny mutiny in that. That's a
Yeah, that was
shame.
funny, man. Taking the water away.
Oh, water. Oh, I
Yeah,
thought
it
it
was
was
water.
doing a. I suppose, well, $50 water, fair enough.
I mean, yeah, it's expensive water. I can't really blame somebody for taking away $50, $60 water. That's going to be a good play.
Yeah, but when there's 2k claims down there, I mean,
It's
wow,
true.
Tinny,
I do want to
Tinny's-
see these claims disappear.
Tinny's level 3. I'd have that claim.
Yeah, got to take that claim away, I would say. But now there is a problem coming in for Tenny, and especially with his moving into food, there's a problem for Tenny, which is
Water?
this dust storm in 5 seconds.
Oh, yes. Hopefully somebody's going to get some lovely wind turbines up to take advantage, but I'm not seeing... Oh, Funny Man's not gone into any power, has he?
No, and I'd call that a problem. I mean, these hydrolysis reactors coming down instead of wind turbines is something I'm definitely not okay with. I also don't like the double aluminum on the water instead of just taking the single high aluminum. As a scientist, you do not have the claims to mess around with in that fashion.
No, definitely not.
Another steel mill coming down. I don't like this. Everybody's just letting Tenny run away with the power situation, even with this dust storm coming in. Those are still 130 apiece straight cash that he's getting right now.
I mean, if he gets a goon squad down, there's adrenaline boosts, which that could be a serious cash ejection for him. I mean, that's buyout money, that is, if he times it right and the power price holds, which I think it might.
Well, Tumahai, he's got the double wind turbines down now. And he's got him goon squatted. I would actually love to see him just pick up an adrenaline boost and kill power just like that.
Well, you've got to.
Yeah.
I mean,
that,
if you...
that destroys Tenny's game plan, right?
Yes. Well, it makes money.
And it also makes a ridiculous amount of money. Yes, obviously, if you can pay down that debt.
Mm-hmm.
Tenny, HQ4. Eee. He's getting up there.
That's pretty impressive. With no steel whatsoever, that's good. And I mean, whenever you got adrenaline boosts, wind turbines, power price is high, just adrenaline boost them constantly. You'll never ever lose money on it. As long as the power price holds, adrenaline boost them all day long.
And this is what we were talking about with Funny Man. D levels of debt, despite the fact that he pushed HQ4. You gotta build that power. You cannot wait to 4 as a scientist in a game like this, not with these offices and that $80 start price.
Tumahai there boosting out his wind turbines. Excellent move.
A little late, but it is good to see him get it done.
Yeah.
He could have gotten it during the dust storm, you know, just...
That would have been obscene.
That would have been disgusting.
I'd like to see that.
All right.
But he has got one single little glass factory all on its own, which is losing him $30 a second.
Yep. That's always fantastic, seeing a single secondary building losing money. Hopefully it teaches the players that building single secondary buildings is always a terrible decision and never do it ever.
Funny man's gone for a patent lab. And he's got 3 reactors, 2 food, and look at food, it's 4 times higher than the old reactors.
Well, he got those reactors down during the dust storm, so
Swap
it kind of
them
made
out.
some degree of sense at that point, although it might be time to swap at least one of them at this point. Oh, well, now they're all power surge, so who cares? I'm also a bit concerned about these solar panels up here, rather than just have wind turbines connected to your base. I mean, silicon's ridiculously expensive, carbon's quite cheap. Some of that is going to be impacted by the fact that he did build those solar panels, of course, but...
He's got to go, well, he's going teleportation now. I mean, he had to, putting those 3 claims over there.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
I mean, he kind of wanted teleportation anyway against the magnetic storms, especially. I mean, if he were against pirates, teleportation wouldn't really be absolutely necessary, because where are they going to put pirates, right?
Very difficult to get pirates down there.
Yeah.
It's possible.
It's possible. There are places, but they're not going to be ridiculously effective pirates. It's kind of whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not really pirating. Again, well, I said we wouldn't see much pirates last time, didn't we? And we did, so...
We did. The boost on the steel, though, that's a lot of cash. I mean, steel finally did get expensive. It always would, eventually, with a robot who's not actually making any of it, but it's going to be useful. Ooh, gets taken away, though. Thinking machines is what Tinny wants.
Tinny's now HQ level 5 if he wanted it. And he did... No, sorry, that was Funny Man.
Took it, yeah.
I was looking at the wrong guy. Wow. He's needs to sort his power. There's no... Can't get out of trouble using the cook the books, unfortunately.
Yeah, no cook the books this game. So he does have to be concerned about this debt level. If he can fix that, he'll probably be in an okay position. Thinking machine,
Yeah.
Okay, he managed to get back his patent lab. That's important. Unfortunately, he couldn't goon squad it, so he's still in a really bad spot in a lot of ways, but he did secure teleportation.
That's important for him, I think. And thinking machines will be a good... Let's have a look what's Offworld
Well, thinking
Market's
machines
doing.
isn't going to happen, but not unless something goes wrong with Tinny.
Tinny's got... right.
Yeah,
I
they're
didn't
all
see
after
his-
it, but Tinny's in the lead.
It's a popular patent, isn't it?
It is, and Tinny had taken away Funny Man's patent lab for a long time. And so that just gave him a bit of a head start on the thinking machines while he got his own patent lab online and functional. So it is going to be Tinny who gets it. That's kind of a really big deal in a game with mutinies, of course. And adrenaline boosts. So, like, those off-worlds, if you can get them secured, that's kind of a big deal.
Definitely. It's going to be a bigger... Thinking machines is always an advantage, I think.
Yeah, always
You
very,
can
very
get it.
strong.
Yeah, it's why it's so popular. And then thinking machines with a scientist, well, that's pretty much unbeatable. And Tinny's doubling down on his power. Oh no, 1 glass, 1 solar. Okay, can see that. Upgrading his water. Gonna get superconductor as well. Very nice. Very, very nice. That's gonna be... he's gonna really really do well with that, I think. Well, the power's dropping like a stone. He's going to make some cash off it first.
Tumahai's gotten himself into a really awkward situation. I mean, he's HQ 5, but he still only has 4 tiles total committed to steel production. Like 1 on iron and 3 on steel. And I think that's really given Funnyman a really big boost this game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the price... He's not making a huge amount of money. $25 from each one. I mean, he'd be better off getting that one back.
He should have iron in there. Like, he's got an iron tile.
When he needs to swap that steel mill back into iron.
Exactly. So, that's just kind of painful to see. Well, we can see the power of the scientist going on right now. Their adrenaline boost got dropped on the steel mills, so of course the power surge responded, and, well, now the steel mills are already coming back online, so...
There's not much points. I mean, you've got to EMP them, but it's a losing game, I'm afraid, on a scientist.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad to see someone willing to use that power surge. I didn't really pay attention to who. It looks like it was Tinny. That's a good move still, using the power surge. It's just always kind of hurts, because it's not as effective as you wish it was. No,
you're absolutely right there. Tinny, that's a patent lab, pleasure dome, 217, very nice. And he's going for an Offworld. It's going to be boosted by those 2 warehouse. That'll be quite nice if he can keep that defended, which he should be able to do. There's only mutinies around.
Yeah, but he's having trouble actually getting to the Offworld. I mean, this glass isn't worth anything to be making right now. And the steel up at 116, I mean, he'll get a hold of that eventually, but...
Yeah.
The Offworld is very expensive to put down still. 84.
Ouch. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, and I think Funnyman really has the advantage there. If he would just... I want to see him stop boosting this steel out. Maybe transition his solar panels into at least something else, because power's $7 right now, so who cares? Plus he has perpetual motion.
Yeah, so he's pretty covered at the moment, power-wise, but what could he move it into? Well, I suppose labs. Chemical labs would be the thing to move into. There's nothing else really that's going to make any cash for him.
Yeah, I mean, labs are the thing you do, right? I mean, he's got so much steel down, and this is why I'm saying the Offworld is so important in this game, is because on-world prices have stayed pretty well in check here. You've got 2 robots and a scientist, and all of those typically lead to just lower on-world prices in general, because there's not so much consumption going on, typically. Like, the scientist gets free inputs, the robot doesn't have life support, just... Offworld's become more and more important in these games.
Yeah, exactly right. The sooner you can get Offworlds up, the better. Everybody's moved into chemical labs now, so...
On that note, we need to be paying attention to Atlas in his corner, who seemed to be off to a slow start, but now is in a position where he's got the electronics he needs for the Offworld. He's got the glass he needs for the Offworld. He's trying to move into more carbon. And he's not that far away from it.
Carbon's ridiculously expensive, though, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Very, very pricey. I mean, I don't think anybody else ever took any. So
they didn't know.
Yeah, that leaves Atlas in a really good spot in a lot of ways.
Yeah. It's always tempting, though, isn't it? You want to profit off the high carbon price, but you need to stockpile it to build your Offworld. I always hate seeing carbon so high when I'm trying to build an Offworld.
Yeah,
so
I mean, but afterward, once you've gotten to the Offworld, though, it's just such a quick influx of cash at that point. I mean,
That's it. It's everybody's electronics, I think, that have kicked the price up. Mainly tinnies. Oh, and of course, the chemical labs.
Alright, Funnyman has managed to push to 8 of his own stock and an off-world market, which is good to see, although I still don't like him. Okay, he stopped auto-selling the steel. I think that was really important. I want to see him just buy up 100 glass right now, because glass is literally $13.
Wow.
And I just want to see him go for another off-world, because you can protect them this game pretty easily. Mutinies are already 30k. You are a scientist, so power surges aren't that dangerous. I mean, goons are still only 20, so buy another one of those, sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Funnyman can put himself in a really, really strong position to kind of walk away with this one if he can get to that second Offworld.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. He needs to. He looks like he's... There it is. There's the second Offworld for him.
All right.
Excellent. Good position to be in. I mean, steel's good price. He's producing a hell of a lot of it. Food's a good price.
And the other thing that Funny Man has is that Tinny seems to be his primary competition right now. Tinny's got that Offworld that's going to finish up right now. But Tinny has 5 less stock purchased, like 6 less stock purchased now than Funny Man does, now 7. So Funny Man has all of his stock secured and now can get aggressive against Tinny. Tinny still needs to buy his own stock at this point. And everybody else isn't really a threat. Atlas is struggling, can't keep a hold of his carbon well enough to actually do anything. Keeps moving into buildings that lose money. He's just making sure that he's not going to be a threat this game. Whereas Tumahai, once again, he's now gotten into that iron, but isn't making steel. And so Funny Man still has all that steel coming in. Tumahai doesn't have an Offworld up. Has 4 useless tiles at the moment, 5 useless tiles, 6, 7 useless tiles, 8 useless tiles. I just keep counting more and more. 9, 10. 10 useless tiles. 10 useless tiles is what Tumahai is sitting on. And
Yuck.
so he's just not a threat at all. Maybe even higher than that. It could be arguably he's got like 14 useless tiles right now. So Tinny's really the only threat at this point. And so Funny Man can just focus completely on him.
Will we see him focus on him, though? That's well, Mutiny did Offworld. But I mean, Atlas, you got to laugh. He's taken his chemical labs out and decided he's going to put electronics down instead.
Yeah, I really don't like this mutiny out of Funny Man, I'll be honest. Mutinying away in Offworld that your opponent has thinking machined is pretty much always bad, right? He could have gone after Atlas's Offworld, because Atlas does have that Offworld up, I should point out at this finally.
That would have been a better play, definitely.
Yeah. It's not defended, it's next to warehouses, it doesn't have thinking machines. I mean, you just got to pay attention. I know Tinny's the threat, but your mutinies on him are just never going to work out. And you almost always still need to be able to hold one defensively.
Yeah.
Against the thinking machines.
You could probably argue that he's denying his opponent the income. But...
I mean, you could, except that it just gets mutinied right back anyway, and it's just kind of like...
Yeah.
At this point, you're so far ahead of Tinny, are you even worried about Tinny? Or do you need to look ahead and see... All right, who else might be a secondary threat this game? I'll shut that person out. Like, that's a big mistake that a lot of players make until you're right at the very top level, is focusing too much on the person you're trying to kill instead of identifying, all right, that person is already dead. I just need to let the situation play out, and I need to move on to my secondary target and make sure they don't become a threat as well.
Yeah, you want to let Tinny really have some money, because then he should buy your stock. So you just get it back when you buy him out?
Well, yeah, no matter what he does with his money, as long as you get to the buy eventually, you don't really care, because it's all just a benefit to you. Either he's buying your stock and then you get it back and that's not a big deal, or he buys somebody else's stock and you get that too, and that's even better.
That's a bonus, definitely. Funny Man hit by a surge, but doesn't do much good. I mean, it's just scientific, right? I mean, those surges, and he's been hit by surges so much that some of that, black market resistance that exists these days is going to kick in. You just laugh at it, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, after 2-3 surges have landed on that spot, he doesn't care anymore.
No.
I mean, the surge is still really, really strong. If we look at it in total, okay, these are making 160 apiece at minimum. The surge still hit for a sum total of somewhere around 100 seconds once you add all the tiles together or so. So that's $15,000 away from him. That's a good surge.
Yeah. The worst one was 30 seconds for one tile, which by the time you blink, it's sorted, it's done.
No. It's still a good surge. It's just not going to make that much of a difference.
It's not no, I disagree. It's not a good surge at all.
It's definitely a good surge. It might be a waste of a black market cooldown, arguably, but the surge itself still took more money away than it cost at that point. Now that surges are getting expensive, that's not so much the case. Well, now you can surge it again, and it might actually be okay. Although, this should finally kill the steel price.
I would say so, yeah. That was an expensive shutdown, wasn't it? For not much money. Not much return for that. Let's see that funny man he's getting there. He's got plenty of cash in the bank, another 100k. Tinny, he's not going to make it in time.
Yeah, Tinny just doesn't have much going.
Nah. I mean, funny man's got this sewn up. He's going to take Tinny's 2 off-worlds. Atlas has got 1. Atlas isn't in a good position at the moment. Those chemical electronics, they're actually making money.
Yeah,
that surprises me.
They're making money. I mean, carbon, silicon, and aluminum are all worth absolutely nothing. So, but it is reactors that are kind of the play right now, realistically.
Oh yeah, he's got a second. Oh, he's got 1 food.
Yeah, he's had that one farm sitting there for a long time. This glass has consistently been here losing money because of the high oxygen price. I mean, it's all been a bit of a mess in there.
Yeah, it is slightly scrappy down there. No kind of adjacency apart from the electronics. And the funny man's going to clean up Tinny, hopefully.
Yeah, this launch will give it to him guaranteed. He has the cash. He was just waiting for the launch because it's easier and safer. And at that point, you can just buy into Tumahai because Tumahai has already tried to kill Atlas. So
that's it. And Tumahai's not going to kill Atlas anytime soon.
Yeah.
And with those 2 off-world markets from Tinny, Funny Man should easily clean up Tumahai before Tumahai manages to get into Atlas, who's got a hacker array down.
It is worth noting it will only be 1 off-world from Tinny soon because one of Tinny's is
is a mutiny. Oh, okay.
Mutinied away that Atlas off-world, but still, it's effectively 3 off-worlds to 1, even in this kind of 2v1 scenario. It is a little awkward that Funny Man never got into an optimization center, which I think you needed 1 this game. I think you only needed 1.
It would have been good to have, definitely. I mean, food has constantly been high. Oxygen's ridiculous.
That's the thing is, you knew the off-worlds were going to force prices up once they came down. So you can throw down an optimization center like once you've got your off-worlds established and start working on those off-world resources, and that's just going to put you in a great spot. But it's not game-losing not to do it. It's just could have tightened things up a little bit.
Yeah, again, Funny Man isn't really launching the correct launches here.
Oh, is he still... he's got decent stuff going. I mean, oxygen and electronics, that's fine.
Oh yeah, that's swapped over. I was looking at food. Who's launching food?
Atlas is launching food right now.
Oh.
So that's
I can't see for looking. That's better. Now I can see properly.
Alright, well, Tumahai got to an off-world himself, also launching that oxygen. But you can see Oxygen's price just keeps creeping up and up and up, and this is kind of an area where Tumahai could have taken an advantage by using this optimization center correctly. Unfortunately, it's only got 2 power upgrades done, which was absolutely ridiculously unnecessary. This game. It's just one of those, you gotta look ahead with the optimization center in particular. You can't just upgrade what's good now, because it takes so long for those upgrades to pay off. You always gotta be looking what's going to be strong.
Well, like I said earlier, you're never going to lose money if you go for the off-world launch. Whatever's the highest price, get at least 2 in there, so you're 50% extra or whatever, and
like 95% of the time, that's the right move.
Oh,
like,
definitely.
Just for sure. So yeah, that is a good thing to look at.
Yet another boost, but boosted on the steel rather than on the
Well, I mean, the steel is making 170 apiece. I mean, I'm okay with this because the off-world doesn't get as much benefit out of the boost anyway as the steel does, because off-worlds just get weak boosts inherently.
Yeah, you're still going to boost the steel though if you boost the off-world.
But you're only going to hit 2 of them instead of 5 of them.
Well.
So, you know, you're talking about 4 minutes of boost time total versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes of boost time total, right? He almost gets double the amount of boost time by going this way.
I suppose that's fair enough.
Well, I mean, we could talk more about what's happening in the game, except it's just kind of waiting for Funny Man to absolutely destroy everybody, because Tinny was the only actual threat.
We're not going to have to wait long.
No. It is worth pointing out that Funny Man did a good job this game keeping his debt in check. He was right on that edge of debt knocking him out of it, and he didn't let it happen.
He was. It just makes me sad, though, when I see extra claims here for $14,000.
Yeah, that's pretty low.
Yeah, it's far too low. And spies as well. I suppose spies weren't really needed. I mean, really, it's been a 1v1, hasn't it, with 2 extra players?
It pretty much has, and it's worth pointing out that Tinny is the one who was mostly using the spies. Had 2 of them on opposing Offworlds, so that's certainly good. Funny Man, I'm not sure he had a spy down. I don't think so. Well, anyway. That is going to do it. Funny Man takes it. So that's 4 wins for Funny Man here. A good job on his part to take this one away once again.
Yeah. Good work. Very good work.
But I don't think... I'm unsure about Game Slayer's broadcast because I can't see it. Uran's game is still going.
Let's have a look at Game Slayers.
And Uran's game is the really interesting one because it has Rainbow and Fox in it. Nobody's been knocked out just yet, but Fox is looking to be in a very strong position.
Game Slayer. Let's see. Philo. Looks like Phil's going to take this one.
That's good on him.
Yeah.
He's been playing well, so it's nice to see him pick up a win for it.
He's a tidy player. Let's have a quick peek. How's Uran's game going?
Uran's game, Fox is looking to be in a really strong position, although Vampirus got to Rainbow, so Rainbow's out.
Oh.
Which means he cannot win, because he needed this win in order to potentially win the tournament. Vampirus could still knock Fox down, but Fox has 4 of Vampirus picked up already, so...
Is that 2 Offworlds to 1?
Yeah.
That's a big difference, isn't it?
Vampirus does have the Rainbow subsidiary completely locked up.
That's powerful.
Fox, let's see, in a game with... Oh, man, look at those black market prices.
I'm looking at the resource prices. Look at that water price.
There's that, too. That water price is... Which I think that just plays more and more into Fox's favor, considering they're the scientists this game.
Yeah, but does he have anything down? He must do. Yeah, Game Slayer's crappy screen. Oh, yes,
Well, this
yeah.
is year-end, but...
Oh, is he? Oh, whoops. Oh, I'm doing terrible today, aren't I? Mixing all my words up.
So one interesting thing to see here is what's Galoy gonna do? Because he's definitely a force here. 2 optimization centers in a game with these ridiculous prices and double Offworlds down as an expansive player in the late game. That's still someone you have to pay attention to, even without any stock purchasing.
Yeah, definitely. If he can pull something out, he'll be doing quite well.
Vampirus also, worth pointing out, just sold down like 500 water when it was up at 350-ish, so that was a lot of money that they were holding, but they don't have a lot more cash besides that. And a lot of the production is weak that they have right now, like steel is bad, carbon's not so good, silicon's not so good. Now we're looking at Fox, though. Needs more production. What is Fox doing in terms of life support? Because they're not making very much of it.
I called a look and he's got, I think, two food and 2 reactors, I think, just to the north of his HQ.
Yeah, look at this, though. Vampirus has managed to get 4 of Fox's stock away. Like, that's interesting. Vampirus, they're still definitely in it. Like, Fox, they can kind of ignore that water price and make life support, but oh man, look at all those nukes on Vampirus.
Yep.
That's painful.
hard.
I wonder where slant drilling is this game, sorry.
Hopefully somebody will have had it.
Hopefully. That's so many nukes. And nukes are still only 20. Like, nukes are still actually usable this game.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing 1 or 2 more of them. Oh, fuck, sorry. No, he's got 3 food and 2 reactors.
Okay. I mean, that's more reasonable. Galoy, though, I mean, look at all this food production. I imagine he has that heavily upgraded based on how often that's ticking right now. And I think those optimization centers are really paying off.
Yeah, he's got some decent food upgrades.
Like, he could still sneak in. Like, Vampirus is starting to look like they're in a position to take down Fox.
He needs to buy Fox, doesn't he? Well, really, now, really, if he could scratch it together, he needs to buy Vampiress.
Yeah, I mean, Galoy, I think that's what he's looking to do, is just kind of waiting and watching, and wants to let Vampirus make the buy, and then just swoop in with all this food money. Make it happen.
Well, but then he's going to have to find, whoa, Fox.
Oh, Fox could be bought.
Yep, the red light. Fox is going into Gallows. Ooh.
That's
Why?
interesting. Just trying to hold on, I imagine.
Yeah, she had the red button there, though. Look at that. Rainbows as a sub is making a 4,000.
Exactly, and that's what I was talking about earlier. That sub could really come into its own, especially because Rainbow is a scientific sub. Like, that's something you have to pay attention to.
Bang.
And Vampirus takes down Fox.
Wow.
Which means we are going to go to tiebreakers here.
Wow. Good game. I'm going to tidy up Gallows as well, I would imagine. I wonder how much money he's got.
I find it unlikely to be enough because he needs 2 million total for that kill.
Yeah, that's
2
far
million
too
is
much.
a lot. I haven't seen a 2 million kill ever since Majority Buy became a thing in the game.
No. I've seen 1.4.
Yeah.
Or was it maybe 1.6, but that, especially, she's going to be, I mean, Fox is going to be soon producing at least 2, if not 3,000.
Yeah, it's just these subs will do it if nothing else. That's exactly right.
7,000 a second off your subs alone is
Yeah,
wow.
I mean, if the game even lasts that long, because Galoy, I mean, without that stock, his price is just low.
Yeah. Well, she's halfway there now, isn't she? Look,
Yeah,
look
I
at
mean,
that.
this one's done and dusted effectively.
Pretty much. Just cleaning it up.
But I do think this means that, based on tiebreakers, Funny Man's probably going to take it. Because, especially with that 5-day win that I need to go watch at some point just to see what happened. Like,
That's pretty impressive for new people. Especially it was quite a good good round, that one, wasn't it?
yeah,
It was
I
a
mean,
weak
he had strong
opponent.
players in that round for sure.
Yeah.
So Vampirus does take this one. Soul 12. Long game. I think that's the longest game of the day, actually.
I think you're right.
But that Soul 5 win for Funny Man, I mean, that gives him 4-4 up against Fox, and based on tiebreakers, it looks like Funny Man's going to actually be the one to take it.
Tim Schultz Black. For base placement, are you better landed on resources or trying to place so you can connect to your base? 50-50, isn't it, Zoltar? You want to stomp on some resources, but still keep the good resources so you can connect them to your base.
Yeah, you have to be careful. I mean, the important thing to point out when you're talking about landing on resources is you only get 20 seconds of production, no adjacency, from landing on a resource. So you would better make sure that that's an important 20 seconds of production you're stomping.
Yeah.
And remember that if they're going to be, most of the time, you do not want to stomp your particularly valuable resources because you're going to get a lot more than 20 seconds of production out of those long term.
That's it. If you basically you want to get like a high or a medium, you want to save 2 decent resources and try to stomp the rest. As a general rule of thumb.
Yeah, most of the time that is how it works. If you can have like a high and a medium, feel free to get rid of everything else, because obviously the resource only matters if you're actually going to put a mine on it, and if you're not going to, usually it's better to get rid of just because it denies it to everybody else. But
Exactly.
gotta always be careful, because I have seen new players like walk in, stomp their big resources, and then put mines down on lows, and I'm like, ugh.
It's frustrating, isn't it?
It is a bit frustrating. Well,
I think Funny Man's won it.
yep. So I think we've got the final results here on our little spreadsheet, which tells us that Funny Man and Fox both a score of 4 wins apiece. So that's a lot of wins for them in a 5-round, just kind of round robin-ish situation. Funny Man takes it on the tiebreakers with one very fast win. Fox comes in second, Same number of points, just a little bit worse than the tiebreakers. Fox generally had long games that they ended up taking. Rainbow Ideology is going to be third with 3 wins. Vampirus picks up 2 wins, especially that last one, denying Fox that victory. Very well done. Still manages to take 4th. Reggae Gandalf and Philo both picked up 1 win, and they end up in 5th and 6th, respectively.